Welcome to the Opal Cave. Got a couple of nice, good-sized cutters here. Cooper Petey. Should be fun to cut. And while we do that, we're going to chat about one of the frustrations that everybody seems to have cutting opal, especially if you're just getting into it. Where do you get your opal? What's a good source? How do you know if you're getting good opal? How do you not get taken advantage of and cheated? Those are questions everybody that starts cutting opal has to go through. And I've tried to make this channel a help for people that are kind of going through that. And I buy opal from everywhere. I have purposely I'm going to throw money in the garbage here because I think this is a waste of money or time or a scam or whatever, and just see. And most of the time I'm right. But I don't like that as much as finding out that, hey, this person is good, this person's reliable, this person is honest, and being able to tell you these are good places to get it from. Unfortunately, I have more of the first than the second. And so a couple videos ago, I was kind of upset because I just got several parcels in the mail, and none of them were as good as they looked like they should have been when I purchased them, and I was frustrated. And I mentioned a couple of them, and I happened to mention this one in particular, A&K. And some of you reached out to them and told them that I'd mentioned them. They were pretty upset. They messaged me. I was messaging back and forth till about 1 o'clock in the morning with two different sellers, A&K opals and new breed opals. So you guys, if you've watched the channel, you're aware of the parcel that I got from them that I wasn't happy with. And they said that, oh, no problem, we'll send you something better. And I got it, and I shot a whole video for it, and it wasn't good. And so I was like, I don't want to do another video like this. And I didn't put that video out. I mentioned that I still didn't get anything that I thought was value, but maybe we just have a difference of opinion on what value is and move on. You know, it just is what it is sometimes. To me, it's not really about the money. I want opal to cut. I'm just looking for opal. So when they reach out to me and say, hey, we'll give you your money back, I don't want the money back. Send me something I can cut. Send me something that I thought I was getting to start with. So maybe it wasn't this specifically that I was upset about, or just not just that one. And unfortunately, that card right there, I didn't bring it out here to flaunt it and call that one out. That actually just happened to be with some stuff that I carried out here. And as I was talking about it, I saw the card, picked it up. Sorry, phone ring. Anyway, I don't want to stand here and do a big long spiel. We can talk about it while we cut some opals and not make it to where it's not long and boring. But I want to talk again about what is fair, because so New Breed Opals also tried to call me multiple times last night and messaged me, and I was done. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. It's not worth my time to keep dealing with it. And so I just eventually I ended up letting them call me, and we talked and that stuff. And so they wanted me to make it clear to you that they are willing to make things right if you're not happy with what they got, and they have been willing to do that. Why didn't I reach out and give them a chance? Well, I did. I feel with New Breed Opals, I didn't immediately reach out, but I gave them a chance to make it right. I made that video so it wasn't public anymore, to where nobody could see it. And then the second package came in, and it was barely better than the first, and it was almost embarrassingly bad to me to tell me, hey, you're going to love this one, and have it just, it's anyway. So, and then with the A&K Opals one, now I popped into one of their things, one of their auctions right at the end of it, and I just wanted to, again, I pop in, I buy something, I get it, and I go, okay, you know, did I get what I expected? Is this got value? And then I know whether I can recommend them to you or not. And I just popped in really quick. It was right at the end, and there was 4 pieces of black. I think it's probably Light and Ridge black, and in the video, I remember it looking like it had pretty good color in it. And so I bid on it, and it ended up, there was only a few people left in the auction, so I ended up winning it for pretty cheap. And she made several comments about, oh, that was way too cheap, and I shouldn't let that go that cheap, or something like along those lines. I should have just kept it and cut it. And I thought, wow, maybe I'm going to get something really neat. Well, it showed up, and it was nothing that I thought that I would cut. Only 2 of the 4 pieces had any color on them. One of them had a little bit of color right on one edge because it was a cutoff. They were all cutoffs. And the other one, the color is so dim that you really can't see it unless you get it under light and look closely. And again, I didn't pay a lot for it, and I've only ever returned something to somebody one time. and I have to drive to the post office. I have to fill out customs forms. It's $30 to ship from the U.S. back to Australia by the time you buy an envelope and pay the shipping and that stuff. And the first time I did it, or the only time, because the value of the package was $700, when I put that down, it was going to be $65 to ship it back to Australia. And then they told me, well, if you mark the value as only $200, then you can do it for cheaper. So I'm like, okay, so you either don't have insurance for the full value of it, but you get to ship it cheaper, or you get it, ship it cheaper, but you don't have any coverage if you lose it. So you have to make that choice. And it was a huge pain, and I've had to wait 3 weeks, and they have the package, and they haven't given me so it's a huge pain to do it that way. Now it's a nice option. It is a good sign of a reputable seller that if you're not happy with something, they will return it. I totally agree. However, I think, and this is not speaking of anybody specifically, but my experience has been that most people know they're selling you junk. Most of these people, there are a few that don't know anything about Opal, and you can pick those out pretty quick, but most of these people are cutters. I was on several auctions last week watching cutters sell their trash piles to unsuspecting, unknowing people. And I suspect that most of those people, when they get their stuff, they don't know enough. Most of them would like to start cutting. Maybe they're going to buy themselves a Dremel and that stuff. They get this stuff. They don't know what they're looking at when they get it. Most people, like, just for example, Mariah, when she was here and got her stuff that we had carefully ordered, and when it got here, it wasn't what she thought. I was like, Mariah, just send it back. You'll take it back. It's not that big of a deal. And she's like, I would never send it back. I'll just eat it. And I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people don't say anything when they're unhappy. And so me, if I cared about the money, I would reach out and say, hey, I want my money back, and and send it and just wait for it. But it isn't about that. I want Opal. Just send me something I can cut. This whole thing's about cutting Opal. And so, it is a good thing. But to me, so I own a restaurant. Among a lot of things, I own a restaurant and have for about 15 years. I live and die by reviews at the restaurant. I understand how a bad review can harm you. So I'm very careful to not say things that that might be harmful if I think people, deserve another chance. I try to be kind. I try to be fair in everything that I do. However, at my restaurant, if you come up and ordered French fries and got onion rings, and you came up and you went on social media and said, these morons, and this happens, these morons don't even know what they're doing, and they got my order wrong, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I would rather have you come up and say, hey, I'm sorry, but I ordered French fries, and you gave me onion rings, and then give me the chance to fix it. That's fair. However, if you're standing there waiting for your food and you see me drop your burger on the floor, pick it up and look around and slip it in there and give it to you, don't give me another chance. Tell everybody, don't eat there. These people are, there's a difference. And so I think, and again, this is not speaking of any of those people directly, but I think most sellers are knowingly selling overpriced stuff to unsuspecting people. A lot of them are. And they're knowingly selling stuff that they cut it, they realize there's no value, or the value is greatly diminished. I literally watched a piece of Lightning Ridge Black Opal that they had blown through the color bar. It had massive sand spots coming up through it. It wasn't going to cut even a small pointer, and they were telling the people on the auction, this thing's going to be $500 a carat when you cut it. It's easily going to be $500 a carat. And they sold that worthless rub for, I think, $550 or $600 to somebody, and there's just no chance. Look, I mean, if you see enough Opal, you never get them always right. You don't get them always right. Some of them you think are going to be straightforward are not. There's sand, there's cracks, or stuff like that. Some of them you think, this isn't going to be much, blows up. I've had, you have some of those happen. But for the most part, you can look at some and go, this isn't going to work. Cutters do that, and they're passing it off to unsuspecting people on Facebook. That makes me mad. And so I get upset when I see people that are unknowingly buying stuff, and I see, because I've bought so much of it, I see another technique I see is they'll shove a batch of a parcel of rough up, and the one on the very top is strategically very bright and colorful and nice. And then you buy it, and that's the only one with any color in it. The rest of it is garbage. And that's a technique that I think that they knowingly use and do. So I want to tell you when I think people have given me value and when they haven't, but it's not fair to say, well, yeah, I sent you junk, but I'm willing to fix it if you catch it. And so I'm a good seller. I don't think that's the same thing. So just be clear. Don't put stuff in a bottle that looks way better than it is and sell it that way. Don't only show the one side of the stone that has a little bit of color, not the other three sides that have cracks and no color or whatever. These are the things that you see. And then when people actually catch it and say something, you go, oh, don't worry, I'll send it back. Because it's a huge hassle. Most people don't do it. Most people will just simply eat it and not say anything. And so I say something, and I don't like to. I don't like to do those videos. I like to do this part. all day long I was mad that I have to do this little, this little talk right here, because yes, I shouldn't have called that one out specifically, NK Opal specifically. I did get something from them that I wasn't happy with. I don't care about it. I don't care about the money. She wants me to send it back and refund my money. And I was like, I don't care. I mean, yeah, I can send it back to you, but then it's an hour out of my day and $30 in shipping, so I can get my little bit of money back. So yes, good sellers will give you your money back or replace it with something that you might be more happy with. That's good. That is a sign of a good seller. But a good seller, most of the time, like I said, and I have a few of them that I mention here regularly, every time I get something from those sellers, I at least have a chance. It is what I expected it to be. It is what I paid for. Those sellers exist out there. If you want to be one, you got to be really careful. And look, I get it, man. You as the seller, you got it tough too, because some cutters suck. Even good cutters mess up. People can get mad and blame it on you when it was there and they messed it up. It's a rough game on both sides. And I get it, it can be difficult, and everybody's probably doing their best and everybody's trying, but I just want everybody to be fair, everybody to be upright, everybody to get what they expect, to get value when they buy something. In a perfect world, that's how it would be. I'm learning that 80% of the time, you're getting screwed. 80% of the time. And I've bought from dozens of sellers, thousands of dollars worth of Opal to learn these lessons. And so if I mistakenly call somebody out when maybe every other transaction they've ever had has been perfect, and I'm the one person that wasn't happy with what they got, okay, they're willing to take it back. They might be the best seller in the world. I just was mentioning, hey, and this one also didn't go well. When 3 in a row came in, these 2 that I'm cutting right here, there's probably 50 stones that came with this. I'm not going to return it. There's about 5 that'll cut. Okay, it just is what it is. It's the world we live in. Sometimes I'm mad enough that I say something to you about it. And mostly I just don't mention them because I don't want you to know about them and find out. Don't buy from that guy. If I give them any publicity, then you're likely to go there and see what's up. So anyway, I'm sorry. This wasn't supposed to be a 10-minute rant. I'm sorry, A&K Opals. I didn't give you a chance to redeem yourselves. You're obviously very dedicated to making sure people are happy with what they get. And I'll find an opportunity to buy something from you again, and hopefully, we're both happy. You make money, and I got some wonderful Opal to cut. New breed Opals, same thing. I told him I don't care. It was $350 plus shipping. I don't care about the money. He was like, I'll just refund you your money. You keep the stones. I was like, no, I don't want the money. Send me something I can cut. We both know what cuttable materials looks like. We both know what I'm not asking for a $5,000 Lightning Ridge knobby. I'm asking for something that I can have fun to cut, that I can make videos for people to enjoy, and I shouldn't have to spend $500 to get 3 or 4 cuttable stones, but that's how most of it is, and it's frustrating. I know you guys got to be frustrated. I'll bet you most of you have done it and eaten it and not said anything, and these sellers are thinking everybody's happy with what they're getting. That's what I suspect. But people are also trying to do their best, and we got to give them another chance. And anyway, I apologize if I was too rash. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I just wanted to warn people. Anyway, let's cut a couple opals. These should be good. So this one, we have our color bars right there. I don't know how far around they go, but they do show up there. We got a little bit of sand right there, but this one is probably a 12 karat cutter, pretty good size. This one is probably a 7 karat cutter. This one looks to me, so this one looks like it's gonna have brighter color, but a trickier color bar. This one is nearly skin to skin color, but I don't know how bright it's going to be. So this one will be the one where we'll learn to see how bright it's gonna face. So let's just start. Look at our edges, look at our sand right there, that sand going in. There's our base. This one's about as straightforward as you can get for a cutter, because all of you got that sand going in. We want it to go away. Anyway, I was saying this is about as straightforward a cutter as you could get, because nearly all the angles slope up toward where you would want to dome it anyway. You got sand that's an issue, depending on how far that goes in. peek in the top and see how close our color is. Sand's kind of going in further than I'd hoped. And right there it's going in, obviously. We got good color in this. This is your typical $2 to $5 an ounce Cooper Pedy. This is what you should expect if you pay, well, $1 to $5. You can get this stuff for $1 a carat if you're careful. Let's set that one down for a second. Look at this one. Obviously the sand can go away quickly. That doesn't take much. Okay, I'm not seeing color here yet, but we have it to there. Well, there it is a little bit. Maybe it's not that far in. The best color is under that hinge fracture right there. See? So anyway, if I was to make a recommendation to the sellers, it is definitely a positive that you're willing to take stuff back and that you're willing to do refunds to make people happy. I think it would be way better if you just made sure that people were getting what they paid for, that they were getting fair value, that they got what they were expecting. I think that would go a lot longer, got further. But that's just me, and maybe that's not possible. I've dealt with the public. Maybe it's not even possible. Look at that color coming up through there. Maybe we're working the wrong side for the... Might be working the wrong side for the top. Except for that sand right there pushes the sandbar, the color bar down. It is the sandbar. That's going to be beautiful broad flashes on this side. Kind of a gamble either way. I think the color bar, except for right there, is more straightforward on this side. I think we're going to switch and go to the other side. Let's get a little bit more water. We have color right there. We have to hope that we're going to have color across the whole thing. There it is through the middle. So we now have color in the middle. We also have sand that needs to come out, but I think, so I'm a big fan of don't go down any further than you need to. Actually do your shaping and finish up going down. If you take it down to where the sand is all the way out, and then you go to the next grit and the next grit and then the polish, you might go down further than you need to and lose more of the color than you have to, and maybe too much color. So with that much right there, I think the next wheel will take that off, and if not, the wheel after that will definitely take that out. So there's no point in us, and I think that sand will roll out. So this is now our top. We need to establish this is the bottom. This might end up being double-sided. Starting to get color to peek through there. got a base now that we can work with. I think we got our top right there. We got color a little lower on this side and a little bit lower on this side, but that's what we want. We want to roll that. So let's set it up to maximize our dome and maximize our color bar. We'll see if maybe we can't get lucky and have the arch in this color bar benefit us rather than hurt us like it often does. So we kind of know what we're doing there. Okay, that sand just came out. Or came out far enough that I know it's going to come out. That's the sand that is the limiting factor. I'm trying to think what I need jewelry-wise. What size settings do I need? Because we can probably get a 13 right there, which are fairly hard to come by. Maybe, let's see. 13, nah, might be not quite. Probably end up with the 12. So if that's the case, we want to go down to an oval. Just eliminate that sand spot. The 13 oval is, I think, possible if we leave the color, the sand spot in it. How about if we rotate it this way? What would you do? Would you go round or oval? I think oval settings are more pleasing and they're easier to come by. And I guess whether we go round or oval, that sand is the problem. Alright, let me mark this. We're a 14, but we're going to actually go as big as we can. We're just going to go up to the line. That right there is going to be the point that determines the minimum distance we have to be away, or maximum distance we can be away, because that's our closest spot. Alright, now it's time to slow down. Get hogging things down and take off stuff you don't want to take off. Okay, that's enough for this wheel. Our littler one. Same thing here. We're going to try and go bigger than what I marked. The irregular shape of the face. Wow, I couldn't remember the word. Makes this one hard to trace a pattern on. So. Yeah, that one's going to be fun. Ready for the next wheel. We're clean everywhere, but right there, that should be low enough it doesn't affect us. Let's see if we can just get that out of there without wasting any more size, and we'll go down in size if we need to later. Okay, about that quick. We have nearly a flat surface to work with. Let's set our 45. Yeah, see, that's got to come out. That mess has got to come out. Of course, if you take some off that side, you got to take out some off the other side to balance it. See if that's something we can work out now. All right, it just came out at the top right there. It tells us it can come out. Okay, now we want to refine that shape just a little bit more before we go any further. That's our next obstacle right there. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above, and for a moment all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives, they're better left to chance. Could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Holding you, well, I held everything. For a moment, wasn't I a king? But if I'd only known how the king would fall, hey, who's to say? You know, I might have changed it all. And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives, they're better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. I think I see a crack that's ruining the whole thing for us. That sand right there is going to go a long ways in. There's no point trying to get it out. Sometimes, knowing that there's a crack, just wanting the experience of cutting and having the fun, there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do that's gonna like save the bulk of this stone. So we're gonna cut it as if it wasn't there. And hope that that potch right there comes out a little bit better. But right there's where the crack runs through. You can't see it. could try to get rid of it. Excuse me. Our stones aren't going to be as big as we hoped, but that's cutting. So who's at fault here? Both of these two stones are looking like they're going to have no value other than the fun of cutting. Maybe not none. I think this one will still probably cut a stone. The other one, if I got the crack out, it'll still be a stone. It's my fault for not cutting them better. The stone's fault for being fatally flawed. The universe's fault for not giving us a win. Who knows? I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying this. I didn't pay a ton for these. It doesn't hurt that bad to have these not work out. Just gonna have to keep taking that in till the sand's gone. May even have to re-dop it. It's getting so close to the dop stick. I know there's probably some of you that are glad this is happening. It's still there, it's not going away. Now I can't get the dadgum teardrop shape out of the side. That's what we're going to end up with. And we're still not getting all of the sand out of it. Good night. It's only facing from the side, it's just not facing from the top. I keep going down hoping that that'll come out, but well, that's what we have. Now that this one's dry, do we have, don't see the crack in it anymore. But I also don't see any color on this side. It's clear down there in the bottom. It dives clear down to the bottom, and we're not going to pick it up there. way to look at it, if we'd have started with a, we're losing it off the top. If we'd have started with a, you know, a 2 or 3 carat little cutter and ended up with this 1 carat piece, we'd probably be pretty pleased. Going, we got a little ring stone. With a little sand in it. Well, if any of you stuck through this video, comment. I stuck through it right here. We'll do a giveaway just for the poor souls. Somebody that made it through this. We'll do a giveaway just for whoever stuck through. Take that stone. If you stuck this far and you would like this stone, say so, and we'll draw from the ones that say, I want the stone or whatever. One of you can have that. Another one can have that one. Alright, well, thanks for sticking with me through that video. The bigger one, when I pulled it off the top, the crack broke the back half of it off. I hurried up and spun it back up and finished it up. Like I said, if anybody wants those, comment. Let's wrap this up. Let's weigh them. So here's the 2 stones. If you're wondering, here is the pieces from A and K that I was talking about. As you can see, there's a little bit of color right there on the edge if you look really closely. No color on that one. Anyway, so that's, I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't expensive, but there's nothing really there. Nothing that I would consider useful, but everybody's different. But on these 2 right here, the bigger one, let's guess that one at 1.4. Yeah, almost 2. We still got almost 2. That means before it broke, it was probably closer to 4. But they're so slippery. Not a bad little stone. 1.4, almost a carat and a half. That was bigger than I thought. As I was saying earlier, so this one right here is probably going to still make a carat. And 1.3. So yeah, so that's what you tend to get disappointed, because if you start with 10 carats and you're hoping to get 5 or 6 out of them, 1.3 is disappointing, but this one's having a hard time finding the color in it. Yeah, not the brightest on that one. Better from the side than from the top. But there we go. Couple of Cooper Pedy cuts that were fun. Always a lesson, always fun. Thanks for watching.